The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get.
He missed the complete. That is crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield for 4. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Located in the foothills of the Sonoma Mountains, an area known more for its wine-making abilities, lies the Sonoma Raceway, a track that has found footing in NASCAR after the old Riverside Speedway closed down. Sonoma is known as a challenging facility with its combination of elevation changes, sharp turns, and giving drivers fits on the track. Sonoma hosts the Sprint Cup Series, IndyCar, IMSA, SCCA, and many more amateur racing events. For drivers of the AdvoCare Cup Series, this marks the second of 4 total road courses that will make up the 36-week schedule. Who will bring the car home to victory lane? Who will play the right strategy hand? And who will end up like a bag of smashed grapes? We'll have all of those answers for you and more live in our flag-to-flag coverage of the Big Sky Bat Dogs 175K. Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Brian Yazik. Joining me in the booth as always is Tanner Sharp. In the production truck, spinning the dials, moving the sliders, and making us sound twice as good as we really look is Amjad Yaman, who is using cameras provided to us by Dougie Beard. Tanner, we have yet another road course on tap today. Pardon the pun, but what kind of twists and turns await our drivers today?
Well, Brian, think outside the oval. Today we are racing at the Sonoma Raceway, one of the toughest and probably maybe one of the most challenging road courses on the schedule and on the NASCAR season schedule. It is a 1.99 mile road course, so not quite 2 miles, but just there. 10 turns. This road course is 160 feet of elevation changes. You're going to be going uphill and downhill, which these guys, when they get back in the throttle, they're going to be fighting that car all race long. 175 kilometers, for today's race, that's 108.74 miles. Weather is 82 degrees air temperature, 92 degrees track temperature. To get an idea to get around this tough road course with all those elevation changes and those twists and turns, let's take it to our lap guide here on GSRC.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC Chevy SS, so let's do a lap around Sonoma. Turn 1 is a terrifying kink with a street course-like wall right on the outside to collect you. And to make matters worse, it flows directly into the braking for 2 at the top of the hill. Accidents here can become a mess in a hurry due to the blind crest, so be aware in traffic. As you come off, gentle application of the throttle is going to be critical, but before you know it, you're into the chicane of 3, which has everything all in one. It compresses, it changes direction, and it gets you light over this huge hump on the exit. From there, it's a short stretch down to 4, which has a lot of runoff on the outside. Just be careful bouncing off that outside curb because it can chuck you into the wall if you clobber it too hard. As we continue to plunge downhill, we're going to brake for the hairpin of 7. Guys who go in too deep will suffer because it's more important to get the car set up for the exit. Granted, you won't be too vulnerable to a pass coming off the corner because now we're into the S's. It's all about keeping a rhythm through here and making sure your line feeds into the following corner correctly. Getting offline will leave you playing catch-up on your lap times. Coming up to turn 10 though, watch out, because coming through here too hot will leave you scrambling out of the grass or potentially sliding off into the wall. After that, it's the only other good passing spot on the course, the turn 11 hairpin. Go in as deep as you dare, square off the exit, and then get the power down as best you can to get a run. Just don't make the embarrassing mistake of slamming into those tires. Once more, keep it off the walls around these kinks, and you've finished a lap around Sonoma.
as these drivers do face a very, very difficult challenge today. Before we talk about those difficult challenges, let's talk about our chase standings after Iowa. Scott Eckrich currently leads chase standings with 529 points with 4 wins. Drew Carroll, Mr. Excitement himself, with 547 points and 2 wins. Now, last week he did win the race. The race was called due to virtual rain, so he did win that race, and we will get an interview with Mr. Excitement himself in just a short bit. Jake Wright is currently 3rd in the standings with 510 points and 2 wins. Jonathan Goodell in 4th with a win. James Krahula in 5th. Tommy Ryan in 6th. Ricky Hard in the 7th place. Look for him to be a contender today. Ryan Howard will be sitting in the 8th in points as of right now. Dan Murray in 9th, and Matt Lacrosse in the top, who's sitting just out in the top 10 without a win. And Brian, who's outside the top 10?
Outside the top 10, but not that far off, Nick Cohan in 11th. He's got Rich Jetty in 12th, Rhett McBride 13th, Don Runkle Jr., the sleeper. And fun fact about Don is he is in the chase standings, or the chase running in all 3 series that PRL hosts. So that's a fun fact for Don there. Rick Thompson, the airman himself, in 15th. Rounding out the chase standings in 16th is Paul Pepper. On the outside looking in, Chad Stallman in 17th, Josh King in 18th, Calvin Filarski 19th, Jody Green in also a tie for 19th. So that kind of does round out our top 20. Let's see here. I'm kind of looking around. And you know what? We're going to have an interesting pre-race here because we're actually going to jump right to our pre-race interviews, and it's going to be kind of fun. We've got 2 people on tap. We've got Drew Carroll, our winner after the virtual rain delay last week. We've also got Joshua King. So we'll start off with Drew. Well, this is kind of a week late, but congratulations on your quote-unquote rain-shortened victory at Iowa.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Definitely not the way we want to win it, but, a win's a win, and we'll take it. And now we got a couple bonus points here for the chase.
There you go, back-to-back. Do you think you can go 3 straight here?
If we're looking at the leaderboards right now, I would not say we could. I'm not a good road course racer. I struggle constantly on these things, but we were pretty fast in practice. I think if we can just keep all tires on it, we'll come out here with a decent top 5. I think that's a reachable goal for us.
I think so. Now, Josh, you're on the outside looking in a little bit on the points. You're 19 markers back off of Paul Pepper in 16th. What's your strategy here for the road course?
I want to finish the race. I want Brian Nyhard not to crash me out. Hey, I just want to tell you guys, is that Brian and Ahmed, Tanner, even the guys here, I just want to say you guys do a fantastic job, and I would gladly put the production of our race up against the peak antifreeze races. You guys do a great job.
Ah, well, thank you for the kind words. That's going to get you some extra shout-out.
I want to cut you off right here. I just want to let everybody know, whoever's watching, to go to my team's Facebook page of Unacceptable Racing. Give us a like. We may not be the fastest or best sim racing team in the world, but we do have the most fun. And the more people that follow us allows you all to catch us at like a real world event. We all go to the Rolex 24 in person. We go all NASCAR races. You guys should come out and give us a like.
That's a great plug there. I've hung out with in their team speak for a race, and yeah, they do not lie. That's about the most fun you can have. I think legally on the sim that you can actually partake in. So back to you, Drew, though. So I mean, you had a fairly good showing at Road America, the first road course of the year. Yeah, time is a little bit down there, but stranger things do happen on the road courses, though.
Oh, I mean, we've seen stranger things happen last week, so I'm not too concerned about stranger things happening. Both of my wins have come in dramatic and weird fashion. So, like you said, crazier things can happen. But we were decent at Road America. I think we're a little bit stronger here. Now we all got the sense of who we can race now around these road courses. So, like you said, we're a little bit down there in the leaderboard, but I'm not too concerned. I think we'll find our way to get up there toward the end of this thing.
Sounds great. We'll kind of toss it back to you, Josh. I mean, yeah, you like I said, kind of a little bit on the outside looking in on your overall points, but I mean, I really think that with the season starting to roll on, do you think that do you have it inside of you that you feel like the confidence that you can get up there and knock yourself into chase contention?
I think so. My schedule is kind of not permitting it for me right now. I have to take a couple weeks off to do things, but I think I still have a chance. I'm really happy that the Premier Racing League AdvoCare Cup Series has 4 road races this year. I think that's pretty cool. It shows off a lot of their talent. really the super speedways are probably my only chance to win, but I have the most fun at road races.
Sounds good. Well, we'll let you guys get back here. We got about 5 minutes left until the gridding up process happens. We'll let you finish up first, Josh. Any kind of final thoughts for us to keep a lookout on the race today?
Just my opinions. I think Mellendorf is probably the best guy on the road race for long distance, but consistency is key to keep the tires on the black stuff and not piss them off. So you get easygoing drivers like my boy Tommy Ryan. He has a chance to win as well. So keep it on the track. You never know what's going to happen.
Absolutely, Drew. Any kind of final thoughts for us?
Yeah, hopefully we can get it done tonight. Definitely know we can go out here and win, but like Josh just said, you got a lot of fast guys with Mellendorf, Eckridge, always fast, obviously. We got a couple of new guys up front too, so it should be a fun race to watch in the end. Hopefully we're up there battling for it, but if not, hopefully all those guys up front put on a good show.
Absolutely. We'll be looking forward to that up here in the booth. Boys, I wish you both the best of luck, and I hope that all 4 tires maintain pavement contact at all times, and hopefully they don't face skyward.
All right, thanks, Brian. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Brian. You're the best. See ya.
Thank you. All right, so that was our pre-race interview. Kind of a double up there between Josh King and Drew Carroll as Rhett McBride decides to be an airplane on the broadcast screen.
Oh,
okay,
boy.
that was the thing. All right, so really what we've got going on tonight here at Sonoma, similar setup to how we were doing it at Road America. There is no cautions by default. The only way that we're going to see a caution tonight is from an admin discretion. I believe we have Carson Abe is the in-race admin tonight, I believe, unless I misheard what James said, which is entirely possible. So basically what that means in normal English is that if the track gets blocked, so let's say that right here where Tommy Ryan is, let's say that there's a pileup going into that corner and the track is completely blocked off, the admin, wow, Tommy, look at that. That was some Tokyo Drift right off the corner. They will be able to throw the caution to kind of get the field settled back out and get that going. But speaking of getting that going, we have our Savage Spinners Pole Award. And Tanner, stop me if you've heard me say this before, but on pole tonight for the umpteenth time this season, Scott Eckridge, the driver of that number 70 machine on your Savage Spinners Pole Award. We've got the replay. We're going to show you how it's done. Brought to you by Savage Spinners. They are unique river and stream lures created in the Pacific Northwest, handmade quality from the United States to entice fish at an affordable cost. So Tanner, we heard Josh say it and Drew both. You really have to keep smooth, and I'm just kind of watching Scott's lap right now. It looks exactly like what he's doing.
Right now, he's going through one of the toughest part of the racetrack, and that is the elevation changes, especially trying to get on the throttle. Right here, he is going through turn number 5, getting back into the throttle, going through that rumble strip, as all NASCAR drivers do. Here's one of the toughest corners where drivers can run into each other, and this is turn number 6, a hard right-hand corner.
And here's through the little S's, kissing those curbs just a little bit, not too much. And really what this sets up for is turn 10, which is going to set up turn 11. Sonoma is a very, very rhythmic course, and each part really does a good job of lending itself to the next part of the track to really put together a good lap time. I mean, that's the thing that you look there. With Scott, the car never really looked out of shape. It looked very smooth balanced. I mean, this setup is a handful tonight. It's a hot track. These cars have a lot less downforce than typically they have in the past, and that thing is loose. So tire management is probably going to be king tonight at our race at Sonoma.
Tire management will definitely be key, and the harder you get on that throttle coming off the corner, the more you're pretty much using up them tires. And so throttle management, as you said, will indefinitely be key.
And that will be, and plus we're also staring at about a fuel window of somewhere between 17 and 21 laps. So those are, my usual sources in the garage. They weren't 100% sure. With the lower, or the more late night or late afternoon setting, could move those numbers around a little bit, but those are the numbers that I've got, and either way you cut it, I think you're looking at a 2-stop race here for fuel. You're probably going to wish it was a 4-stop race for tires, though, Tanner.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe you can, if you can really try, if you're going to really play it conservative, you maybe, And that's just a big maybe try to make it on one stop, but I don't think it is. I think it's a two-stop race. And if you're in the back of the pack or starting in the back of the pack, you do have the work cut out for you. So some guys in the back are going to be trying to drive as hard as they can to get up towards the front because track position is definitely going to be king. We are going to probably see some beating and banging. That's why they call the road courses the new short tracks.
Absolutely. A very popular option that you see in road course racing is almost run the race backwards. So as soon as these guys know that they can hit a window, you might see them pit early. So rather than traditional oval races where you might see them run to the end of the fuel run, these guys have a very, very set window and number to play with. So as soon as they hit that window, it would not surprise me to see guys split that race up and do two stops. So even if, let's say that we're going 18 laps backwards, let's see here. Get our handy-dandy calculator out somewhere on this machine that I'm on.
I'm quite honestly thinking fuel-wise as of right now, and the race hasn't even started yet, but I'm thinking backwards. There's no way you're going to make this stop on a one-stop race. Just, in my opinion, no way. At least two stops, maybe three. It all depends on what these guys, how they play their strategies. It's going to be very interesting to watch.
Well, I think if you've got the speed, you can definitely make it all happen. That's going to be ultimately the key here. Is the field is sitting on pit road. They're finishing up the drivers' meeting, and everybody's getting ready to turn it loose around Sonoma, wine country, if you will. Sonoma in the real NASCAR Sprint Cup Series has provided some very interesting races throughout its history. And, you know, it's kind of like what we say every week. It's not over until it's over. So these drivers are going to have a big challenge ahead of them. And it's really the big key. You got to keep all four tires on the pavement. I mean, anybody that goes off, hits the tire, finds the tire wall, I mean, your day is junked.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing these guys have to talk about or have to watch is in that latest iRacing build, dirt and dust gets kicked up onto the racetrack. So if guys do go off the racetrack, that could play in factor too. I mean, debris on the tires and, man, it's going to be a tough day for these guys.
And it will be, yeah. I did not think about that. That dust that kicks up onto the track, that does it will probably mess with everybody. But the way I finally found calculator on Windows 10, by the way. That's a fun fact for anybody going to look for. So really, if I was running this race, with a fuel window kind of as it is, if you split it 18 laps, that puts you on pit road on lap 19 and then lap 37, and that brings you right to the end. So you might see guys pit a little sooner than that, but I have a feeling that might be the prevailing strategy throughout the field. But now that everybody is starting to grid up, we're going to go through a full field rundown here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Scott Eckrich, as we talked about, your pole winner. Chad Coleman to his outside. Justin Fuller, newcomer to PRL, but not a newcomer on the iRacing server, is lining up P3. Fourth goes to Jake Wright, always bad fast on these road courses. He'll be a threat. Jeff Ward, last night's winner in the Coastal Safety Auditors Grand National Series, starting out fifth today. Sixth, Ricky Harden. 7, Brian Mellendorf, another name that was strong at Road America. I look for him to be up at the front. Rhett McBride, 8th. Tommy Ryan, 9th. And 10th to James Grahula.
And outside the top 10, you got Jonathan Cadell, Mr. Excitement himself. Drew Carroll starting 12th tonight. Nick Cohan will start 13th. 14th is Josh Parker. Woodrow Mahan will start in 15th. Josh King, who we talked to earlier in the pre-race interview, he'll start 16th. Rich Jetty, 17th tonight. Rick Thompson in 18th. Calvin Filarski in 19th. Rounding out the top 20 is Matt Lacrosse, who did not take a qualifying time, and rounding out the field is Don Runkle Jr., 21st in the 00 car.
Field still gridding up out there. 25 seconds, 24, countdown until it's on. We're in a late afternoon setting here in Sonoma, providing some very nice visuals here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Look at those camera shots that Dougie Beard has got going on. Nice sweeping camera angles.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, the visuals on iRacing have only gotten better, I think, ever since in the last maybe year or 2 years or so. So they've just drastically improved.
And the field is rolling as they do a full pace lap around Sonoma. 21 drivers looking to make their mark in Sonoma, end up in victory lane, get a chase position, and celebrate knowing that they have been able to tame the road course that is Sonoma. And, you know, Sonoma has broken a lot of hearts throughout the years on its track. Would not surprise me if we see one guy celebrating tonight while one guy is sitting there in pit road going, if I only had one more lap.
Yeah, definitely. And this is a reality check right here. If anybody remembers Marcos Ambrose trying to save gas here at Sonoma, I mean, one of the best road ringers in the real world and iRacing. I do believe Marcos Ambrose does iRacing, so as far as the road courses are concerned. But go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm going to throw you another one. Jerry Nadeau in the Petty number 44 machine. I believe it was 2003. I don't remember the exact year, but he was leading the race with 2 laps to go before a rear end gear broke out of that machine, which gave the win to Ricky Rudd that day, I believe.
And I do believe it was here between Dale Earnhardt and Mark Martin. Dale Earnhardt passing Mark Martin, I believe, on the final lap to win his first road course win, a big heartbreaker for Mark Martin that year. So as these drivers are done coming through the S's, or just about done coming through the S's,
they're working their way. Oh, here we go. Field is working through turn 10, setting up the turn 11 before we get ready to turn these boys loose. Let the horses run. Ford Mustang pace car dives off to pit road. Field is under the control of Scott Eckrich. Works their way through the slowest part of the speedway. Speed will be down about 35 miles an hour right there. Pace car is in. Field is under Eckrich's control. Here we go. Green flag back into the air for the start of a race at Sonoma. Eckrich with a great jump. He's going to climb the hill into turn 1 first by a big advantage over Chad Coleman and Justin Fuller.
Watch out, entering turn 1. Don't want to dive bomb it. Watch your braking.
He's coming out on the other side just fine on that wide camera angle. Looks like everybody's going to work their way through turn 1 for the first time fine. I don't see any dust even being kicked up. So bravo to these drivers out there.
Yeah, dirt's not confirmed just yet, but if anybody goes through the dirt's confirmed.
Wow, look at those guys attack the curves. That car was up in the air as Eckrich works his way through 7A for the first time.
And these guys are going to be manhandling the wheels. Oh, someone in the back of the pack getting hard onto the brakes, entering this corner right here. This is probably one of the most treacherous corners of the road course. That was Josh King.
Josh King kicking up a little bit of dirt and smoke, but Eckrich still pulling away from Coleman and Fuller. He's got about half a second, working their way through turn 10 for the first time. Let's keep an eye on Fuller. Turn 11 is a very hot passing zone. I think this time though he's gonna fall in line.
Ooh, was that Eckrich hard on the brakes just a little bit? This is one of the most treacherous corners as well. I mean, some guys can accidentally drive that corner and get into the back bumpers.
That is the case, as we saw that happen to Kyle Petty, ironically enough, in the Real Sprint Cup Series a couple years back, where Matt Kenseth, I believe, outbraked him. Didn't use any brakes down into turn 11 there, and knocked them both up into the tire barrier.
Oh man, I remember Ryan Vickers going down in that corner down there and lifting Tony Stewart's car on the tire barrier down there.
I believe that was payback too.
it was. I believe it was.
I will say though, top 4, you could toss a blanket under them as they're working their way through turn 4 that time, 4A.
Man, Chad Coleman, he was 7th fastest in that practice run, and he qualified 2nd, and he's still running 2nd. So, as so far, a stellar performance by that number 45 of Chad Coleman.
It is. Coleman, Eckrich, and Fuller were the only drivers that cracked the 113 mark in qualifying. That actually bested the Real Sprint Cup Series track record here.
It definitely did, and that Sprint Cup Series track record was clinched by Kyle Larson. That happened last year, so definitely some fast guys here. Oh, someone kicked up some cones.
Eckrich, he gets a little squirrely off the corner, but he's going to be able to hold the momentum. Coleman stalking in that number 45 Chevrolet, getting right up to the rear bumper. We're on board here, looking up to Eckrich, working their way up through turns 1 and 2 this time.
We might be having a battle for the lead here if Eckrich continues to get loose coming off the exits of the corner. Almost looked there for a second.
That was right there. I think Coleman might just be laying there and trying to save his stuff just a little bit.
Wow, what a run he got.
Everybody's squirrely. Fuller with a tank slapper coming off a turn 4.
Yeah, I mean, throttle man.
Eckrich loose off of the bumps. He's got Coleman to the outside. That's not going to be the preferred lane going into 7A. But if he can hold it, he'll have the preferred line going into 8, but he's not. He's going to have to roll back in.
Man, that opened the door for Jeff Fuller to attempt to take advantage of it, but couldn't get by Chad Coleman.
Yeah, Justin Fuller back there was lurking. But,
Oh boy.
and that time, Eckridge was able to get that better run off of 8A, and or turn 8, sorry, and was able to gain his momentum back. And now he's got a small advantage over Coleman, Fuller, and Wright.
Getting a little hard on a brake there. Chad Coleman was getting a little loose off the hairpin as well.
I'm looking back here. We got a battle for the 10th place shaping up. Make that 9th place. Brian Mellendorf, after a rough qualifying effort. Remember, that car was fast at Road America. Mellendorf is a very smooth driver and very, very fast over the long haul. So let's see if he can take care of his stuff and get that number 41 Chevrolet up here into that top 5 fight.
So far, he's already lost 2 positions on the racetrack, but the driver that has picked up positions, and if I'm not mistaken, he is a driver that's gained the most positions since the start of the race. That is Mr. Excitement himself, Drew Carroll. Started 12th, up to 8th.
There's not a shot. Whoa, as Carroll gets way wide over there, having to duck the tire barrier at the exit as he's working his way through turn 7A this time. But yeah, Carroll started 12th. Up to 7th, so far the highest mover of the race.
Back up front, battle for second place. It might be heating up soon. You got Chad Coleman, Justin Fuller. They're almost the bumper to bumper here. Let's see if Fuller can get a big run.
Fuller, he lost a little bit of momentum off of 10 there and could not get the power planted in that Toyota as Eckridge locks up the front tire.
Yeah. Wow,
going into the hairpin there.
Here comes Coleman.
Hey, look back there, Jeff Ward.
Jeff Ward.
He is sitting back there in 5th, just lurking.
Started 5th. He's currently in 5th. He hasn't gained or lost anything. And as you say, he's just lurking. Jake Wright gets on the brake pedal a little bit harder than usual. He's caught the back bumper of Justin Fuller.
Exactly. You got a battle there. Might be shaping up for 3rd. Jake Wright, a very good shoe on these road courses. So he's really not surprised that he's running there in the 4th position.
And looking back in the middle of the field here, or not really the middle of the field, but Drew Carroll, he's caught a little bit on Ricky Hardin. And not right behind him, you got Brian Mellendorf, who's saving this stuff, I believe. I would imagine he is, since he had a great performance at Road America.
That is true. Mellendorf just kind of sitting out there in 9th, lurking at the moment. There you got Ricky Hardin up there in 7th. He just tried to keep all the tires on the pavement. I talked to him a little bit. He wasn't really excited to hop into the car tonight just because the road courses, especially Sonoma, is tough. You know, and you can be a road course guy. I know a lot of drivers out there that are really fast at Watkins Glen, but struggle here at Sonoma.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm one of those drivers who does struggle at Sonoma, but I'm good at Watkins Glen. I mean, as much as I would like to say, Sonoma is technically more of a driver's track, if any, road course. So, I mean, you got the elevation changes, the twists and turns, when to get on the throttle, when to brake. You got all these series of combinations that just, it's crazy. It makes your mind boggle.
There you see on screen, battle for the 14th position. Josh King, our pre-race interview, overtaking Nick Cohan in some new colors this week. Typically, we're used to Cohan.
Oh, no! Justin Fuller! Wrecking!
Oh, that car's pretty much wadded up. Caution is out. Jesse Vincent is an in-race admin. He has thrown the caution just because of the position there of Fuller. Fuller's just going to let them all go by.
Yeah,
what happened here?
He got loose.
Oh, did he catch maybe that inside wall?
He may have. Yeah, he did. He caught the tire barrier.
Oh, that's what sent the car that way. Oh, Jake Wright. Great heads-up reaction from Wright to not get to fall into the rear bumper of Fuller.
I was wondering if we get a onboard camera of Jake Wright from our director. That'd be cool to watch right here.
Well, we missed it, but put it out on the stretch between 4A and 7A. Here we go, on board with Jake Wright. You're going to watch this moment. This is going to be a pucker factor Zulu right here. Comes off the corner. Oh, go this way.
Wow.
Great reaction from Wright, being able to keep that thing straightened away. Now that's going to bunch everything back up.
Tell you what, I don't think Justin Fuller has that much of a serious damage.
Well, here's what's going to work out for him. Ooh, he just kissed the wall a little bit.
Yep.
Well, because pacing at the road courses takes forever.
Does.
I mean, he's got a lot of time to get the damage fixed on that thing.
He really does, and there's no front end nose damage, so I mean, maybe it's not going to affect his aerodynamics very well. So he might be okay. Just a lot of positions to make up, though.
That's true. Now track position not in his favor. Field has caught up to the pace car through the bendy bits there of 8A, and 9, leading up to 10. It would not surprise me to see everybody hit pit road from here either.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to come down to pit road. What do you think? You think some drivers are going to take the gamble on taking some 2 tires maybe for track position?
You can try it. I don't think I would like it, though, with the way that the way that these cup cars spin the tires off the corner. I would want 4 fresh ones every single time.
Well, we've seen some gutsy calls in this series before on 2-tire strategy, sometimes no tires for goodness sakes, but I believe here comes everybody towards pit road.
Everybody except Jake Wright. Jake Wright's going to stay on track. Let's see here, Ricky Harden's going to stay out as well. Mellendorf, Grahula. Josh King has stayed out. That's the other thing that you might see on these road courses. Some of these guys might just stay out because they have their strategy in mind.
Hey, you could probably save some gas under this caution, too, since the cautions are longer. So, I mean, that would help.
You absolutely could, as these drivers approaching their pit boxes right now.
I assume these guys on pit road, these guys are going to take 4 tires. Maybe they'll surprise me on taking 2, but, I mean, 4 tires would probably more than likely be the correct call.
Absolutely it will be.
Yep, 4 tires on at least Scott Eckrich and Chad Coleman.
4 tires, I believe, for everybody on pit road. Well, let's see here. You know what? Let's duck out. We'll take a quick commercial break here on the Global Sim Racing channel, and we'll come back when the field is getting ready to fire them away, and we'll be back on the other side of the Big Sky Bat Dogs 175K at Sonoma. Welcome back to the Big Sky Bat Dogs 175K at Sonoma. Your top runners out there, top 5 on the track, have stayed out under this caution period. Jake Wright, Ricky Harden, Brian Mellendorf, James Krahula, Josh King. Fans of Scott Eckridge, he hit pit road one more time under the caution as well. So we were trying to figure that out up here in the booth. It could be a strategy call. Maybe he had a technical gremlin, something. But just to update for that. And here we go. Field will be in the control of Jake Wright this time. Saying he's going to get a black flag. I don't know what's going on here, but anyways, here we go. And Jake Wright's onto the loud pedal. Green flag back into the air. We're back underway at Sonoma.
What a good jump by Jake Wright there. I mean, he's all by himself out there. And just a quick update on the Scott Eckridge. He had to let a car by before they went green flag racing, and he let the officials know he was going to get black flag because he wasn't going to make it up to the tail end of the field at the time. So hopefully they'll get all that cleared up there, and they do.
He's back underway, but now he is 18 seconds off the lead, 17 seconds off the lead. So we might have to keep watch of that as this race progresses.
Holy cow, James Krahula, Brian Mellendorf, Chad Coleman. You know, probably fold over a blanket, these 3 drivers, and you probably could add Josh King in there as well. Brett McBride, you could fold over everybody.
You could. I'm keeping my eye on Coleman right there. He is back. He's up into the 5th spot right now. He was the one that was able to keep pace with Eckridge throughout that first part of the run. Now he has 4 tires, and anybody else in front of him doesn't. So I'll be curious to see just how long it might take him to get up there.
And Coleman, yeah, 4 fresh tires. Oh, we do got a battle, though, I think, behind them. Brett McBride. Yeah, they're all getting around Josh King there. Drew Carroll.
Yeah, Josh King falling back. Maybe the tires weren't in his favor there. Whoa! And, Tommy Ryan got a little squirrely off of the corner.
Yikes.
Just slid it sideways a little bit. He's fine, underway and going.
Hey, nothing wrong with getting sideways. I mean, usually loose is fast, but, I mean...
If you're smoking the right rear tire, you might be going too fast off the corner. That's just my 2 cents.
Exactly.
Let's P2. We've got something shaping up here. Ricky Harden versus Brian Mellendorf. That early caution kind of worked out perfectly
Oh, man,
for him.
did Krahula. Coleman here.
Coleman making an aggressive maneuver underneath Krahula. Move Coleman up to the 4th position now as he sets his sights on Brian Mellendorf.
I tell you what, I could have sworn James Krahula may have accidentally hit the wall coming off just before entering that corner.
Car looks fine from what I can see.
Okay, yeah, I just took a look at the replay of that. He almost hit it. It was real close.
It's Field working their way through turn 10 one more time. Looks like Jeff Ward going to make a move up on the inside of Krahula. Dives it in there hard under braking through the hairpin.
Oh, Chad Coleman. Wow.
Completed on the other side. Coleman get a little squirrely off the corner.
And he was wheeling and dealing it too. Oh, Jake Wright's got a pretty comfortable lead right now.
And he does. Calvin Filarski hits pit road for maybe serve a penalty, fix some damage, something. He was running out in the back, so it probably doesn't hurt him too terribly much. But all of this action is going on well behind Jake Wright, who has opened up a 2.5-second advantage over Ricky Harden. Jake Wright, a renowned road racer, a very popular name on the Lionheart IndyCar series over there.
Coleman again. Brian Mellendorf. And this is hard right here. Side by side through the S's. Holy cow.
Now, typically what happens when you try to go side by side through the S's is 2 cars enter and 1 car leaves. Whoa, that was Ward back there with the tank slapper.
Sometimes they leave the entire racetrack and hit the wall.
Yeah, we did see
Ricky Harden, yeah.
Harden gets by through turn 10. Coleman side by side going through 11.
More guys.
Off, pushing some dirt.
Holy cow, everybody's all 3 wide through the hairpin.
Oh, that's a bold strategy, Cotton. No contact, Jeff Ward.
Uh-oh.
Keep it straight.
Oh, Drew Carroll got contact. Let's record panel. Wow. Man, these guys are wheeling and dealing these vehicles.
3 wide through the hairpin. I never would have thought that would have happened, right? But
well, they made it work.
Only in the PRL AdvoCare Cup Series.
Drunk them out, though.
Just a little bit. Let's see. Now Jake Wright's advantage is a mere 4 seconds over Chad Coleman.
And unless it's just some glare I'm just catching, but there might be some front end damage on Brian Mellendorf. It's probably just something I'm just seeing.
No, I'm not seeing it either. It might just be the way that the sun in the late afternoon is just hitting that machine. I'll tell you what, Harden is under fire from Rhett McBride, too.
Yeah, Ricky Harden, I did. Oh.
Whoa! Contact between Cadell and Cohan. What happened on the outside of the S's? Or the, ooh! That's going to be an interesting one.
Wow. Very interesting. And we got a battle. Oh, wow.
Body slammed him. Oh. I think Cohan got the worst part of that there.
Oh, wow. Josh King completely out of whack. He is losing some valuable spots. He's about to get passed by Nick Cohan.
I'll worried about the front end of that number 21 machine. It's beaten up right about where that car takes in air. It is 82 degrees out there as an ambient air temperature, so we have to kind of keep an eye on that number 21 machine in that brand new paint scheme. Look at that paint scheme out there. That's a nice scheme.
The nice scheme, and that all over that back bumper of Josh King as Cadell's almost all over that back bumper of Cohan. Wow.
There goes Cohan.
Oh!
Pretty aggressive maneuver going in there to 4A, but it paid off. He's working his way down to 7A. He's gotten clear. Cadell's also getting clear of Josh King.
Oh, Eckridge. He wheeled and dealed it there. What some good driving maneuvers he's doing. Not Eckridge. Man, Josh King, he's like in a world of trouble. I bet he's begging for a caution right now.
Begging for a caution, for tires. He's begging for everything that'll happen.
Yeah, he's
anybody that's
right
listening. And look who's right behind him. That is Scott Eckridge.
Yeah, Scott Eckridge. He was wheeling and dealing it through that. I think that was turn number 7 back there. He was wheeling and dealing it there, bunny hopping it just a little bit, trying to make up as much ground as he can after possibly some slight technical issues. Not sure what was going on earlier before we went green flag racing.
Move Eckridge up to 15th, working his way up there. Let's see here.
Position 5, big time. You can fold over a blanket at these drivers.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's Chain working their way.
That's 6. That's more like 6 cars right there.
Working their way through the chute down to 7A. Here comes. Oh, wow, Carroll. Harden slammed the door shut on Carroll going through 7A. That was an aggressive maneuver, aggressive defensive maneuver, too. That's the other thing. You're going to see very aggressive offensive maneuvers and very aggressive defensive maneuvers. Looking out the back over that short rear spoiler of Ricky Harden's machine.
Yeah, that's a smaller spoiler than what we've had in the past. Update to the 2016 specs.
A little bit of wheel lock going through the hairpin. Ooh, Harden gets a little squirrely off of the corner, but no worse for the wear.
And he actually got fast by doing that.
Well, you know, looser is faster, I guess. Kind of like what you said earlier.
Looser's fast. I'm surprised with all the dirt surrounding the racetrack. I'm surprised the racetrack's fairly clean.
Yeah, so far. We'll talk when it gets down to 10 to go. If there's patches of dirt that you see these guys trying to avoid.
Rhett McBride almost hitting that tire barrier there. Wow, Drew Carroll.
Snapping sideways. Just hitting that curbing in a weird spot. And the way that turn is set up, you know, it almost begs you to overdrive that corner.
Well, I tell you what, there's a lot of driving. There's a lot of driver driving these cars. I mean, these guys are really wheeling and dealing. I mean, folks, they're handling 3,400-pound race cars through these tight corners and the S's, the up and downhill elevations. I mean, these guys are really dealing it with a man.
Well, the other thing to remember, these stock cars are not built for road courses. They're not. They're built to go in a circle.
Wow,
Tommy Ride, aggressive underbraking, but it's going to get him it's going to get him side by side.
Jeff Ward almost got into the dirt again before the hairpin, and he lost a little momentum because of that.
On board with Ryan, looking up the hill at turns 1 and 2, and looking at the rear bumper of Jeff Ward. working their way on the other side, down to turn 3, a downhill move, back up to an uphill turn 4. This is where things get really squirrely for these drivers.
Sometimes your head just spins when you gotta go uphill, downhill, left, right, left, all uphill, downhill, it just spins your head sometimes.
That it does, as these guys are working their way through. Carroll still looking to try to find a way around Harden, but he just can't quite seem to get close enough to make a maneuver.
Tell you what, that turn 7, Drew Carroll, he seems like he's like getting the corner much harder than anybody else. I mean, he's really smoking the tires entering that corner. He's trying to figure out a way how to get into that corner better, so he's not smoking the tires.
Yeah, well, Drew Carroll and aggressive do go hand in hand, as we've seen many times throughout the season.
Ward.
Jeff
Getting
Ward
loose.
trying to make a move on Krahula. Oh, he's going to quite... Golly, that's close.
Got the nose underneath.
Maybe
He's side by side.
He's side by side on the exit. Krahula's going to have the preferred line through the front stretch, but he's going to be able to get clear. Jeff Ward is that, or Jeff Ward.
Oh, hit the
No,
wall.
he kisses the wall on the front side. Kisses the wall separating the road course from the drag strip here at Sonoma Raceway.
Carroll still working on Ricky Harden as Harden gets a little bit loose.
Carroll is going to have the rear bumper of Ricky Harden's machine memorized, I think, by the end of this one. All the sponsors, where they're all placed, how everything's spelled.
Oh!
Ooh, he's got to run this time. He's working his way down. He's got the preferred line into 7A. I think Ricky has to defend here, but he's going to get by just fine. Now, look for Carroll to try to egg out or stretch out a little bit of a gap, and he already has coming through the S's here.
That was a much better corner that time by Drew Carroll. What a pass that he made on Ricky Harden. Now Ricky Harden looks like he's going to be under attack from Jeff Ward.
Something worth noting, we're completing lap 18 around this facility, lap 19 this time by. Jake Wright and Brian Mellendorf. Oh, Mellendorf is on pit road. I was just going to talk about that. Those drivers that stayed out, I'm thinking that they're going to be itching to get to pit road here.
Josh King's one of those drivers that also stayed out. He's back in the 16th. And did I hear that James Krahula hit the wall?
Krahula on to pit road. The nice part about road courses is that, they're so big, you don't have to worry about losing your lap. But now these guys are going to get clean track and clean space to run some time. So as the pit cycle works its way around, these guys might gain an advantage over people that they were racing with. Krahula was back there in a dogfight for the fifth position. If he can get out there and run by himself for a little while, when the pit cycle works its way around, he might be ahead of everybody he was battling.
He definitely might. So some of these drivers might want to prefer to see some cautions in this race. But usually road courses, these drivers, especially these drivers right here, cautions at a road course ain't going to happen all too often because they know how to handle these race cars. So that may have been a good strategy call to stay out under that first caution. Oh, we do got a car in the dirt. That is Rick Thompson. That was Rick Thompson.
The airman himself off into the dirt just a little bit, but he's back on the pavement now.
Yeah, he hit the rumble strip exiting turn 1 up there, and when he hit that rumble strip, he just clipped the dirt and got completely sideways. He did kick up a little dirt onto the racing surface.
Ricky Harden on pit road.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Woodrow Mahan on the exit of turn 2. He's found the tire barriers, but he's got it going. Car doesn't actually look that worse for the wear. He may have just gotten extremely lucky. Now Mahan dives to pit road. Harden, woo, hard onto the binders.
No.
Overshot his pits just a little bit.
That'll cost him just a little time.
Josh King working his way onto pit road as well, working to the service of that number 35 crew. Onto the binders, into the pit stall.
More fresh tires, Harden is away.
I'm keeping my eye on Wright. I would think that he's got to be hitting pit road either this time or next time by at the worst.
Yeah,
the latest.
I mean,
he's running it wide. Let's see here. Staying out for another lap. The fuel mileage in that Ford Fusion must be really good.
I mean, we did have a pretty long caution. Cautions are pretty long here. I mean,
You would
how
have
much gas?
to stretch that to 27 laps to even consider it on a one-stop race. I don't see that happening.
No, he ain't stretching to 27 laps. If anything, he's probably going to stretch it to maybe 23 laps. Because you got to remember, as much as you're on the gas, you use up a lot of throttle, especially going through the gears.
That is true. It's really hard to fuel save at a road course. Really, the only option is maybe coast down the downhill parts and short shift. Maybe don't let the thing wind out to 9,000 RPMs. Maybe shift it at about 7,500.
Oh.
But I still don't think these guys are going to stretch 75 laps. Or not 75 laps, 27 laps. I don't see that happening. I mean, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, but I do not see that happening. And
No
Woodrow
way.
Mahan has disconnected from the server. For fans of Woodrow there.
Tell you what, he's got about Jake Wright's got a 4-second lead, approximately. Yeah, about a 4-second lead. So, I mean, he's not being pressured by Chad Coleman whatsoever. So, Jake Wright, is he going to come down pit road right now? We'll see. He gets a little loose.
Nope. Staying out another time. That's going to put 22 laps on that tank of fuel.
He may have saved a little bit of gas. I'd say approximately maybe 23 or 24 laps. I don't see him making it to 27. I just don't.
I don't see that happening either, but yeah, I might bite the head off a raw chicken if he can do a live chicken if he can get that one on 27 laps. Oh yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and quote me. If he can one-stop that race and win, I will bite the head off a chicken. Sorry to all PETA followers out there. Oh, Michigan's own Matt Lacrosse finds the tire barrier off of turn 10.
Oh no.
He's got it back going up and running now as he's gotten Fuller onto the inside.
Let's see here. Lap times. James Krahula, last time by, ran a 1:15.626. Our race leader ran a 1:17.015.
I'll one up you. Brian Mellendorf just ripped across a 1:15.6. His last time was a 1:14.7 compared to a 1:17 flat.
Yeah, that's gaining lap time in the leaders, that's for sure.
That's for sure. Here, I'm keeping an eye on Wright this time. Is he going to bring it to... Ah, he's on the pit road. All right, so I will not bite the head off a chicken. So
22 laps, or coming to 23. Get down to 45 miles an hour, 45 miles per hour. Chad Coleman's pitting as well. Rhett McBride will stay out, so he will become the new race leader.
That will give the lead over to Rhett McBride. Might be a sleeper pick of our super fan out there, Adam Blattle. He said a dark horse would be Rhett McBride, as McBride he's holding the advantage over Carroll. Chad Coleman, Jake Wright on pit road.
And if this becomes side by side, this would be a battle for the race lead.
Oh, Carroll gets loose going onto that chute there. He's going to dive it in there. Goodness gracious.
Oh, Carroll, a little wide.
I think Carroll has to apologize to that car after every race, going, I'm sorry I hit you, I abused you.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think he'll be apologizing to the tires after it gets...
Goodness, Carroll takes that. How is he keeping that straight?
Wow, left, right, left, right.
Spectacular driving.
Way I play golf.
Yeah, if you ever invite me golfing, be prepared to lose at least 7 golf balls off into the woods.
They're going to pit this time by. I do not see anybody
staying out. Remember, these guys, let's see, these guys pitted under the first caution.
They pitted under first caution.
They go about another, let's see, Wright went 22 laps with caution. These guys might be able to be out there for about another 6 or so.
Yeah, it's approximately. And right now, the top 4 cars, if I'm not mistaken, what's the gap? The gap's really closing here. Top 3.
That is Drew Carroll, Jeff Ward, and Rhett McBride all battling for the top spots on the podium.
Yeah,
right
top
now,
3.
Rhett's holding on to it, but Jeff Ward is also closing in on Drew Carroll. The thing that I like about Ward's car, he's not really getting aggressive on the banking. Carroll, we see him, that car is jumping the curbs, and I think Ward is just kind of kissing the curbs. That car's not getting too out of shape.
Tell you what, man, that Drew Carroll, he's just been left, right. I mean, just bumping them curbs, man. He's just been going crazy with that car all day. But I mean, he's running second position right now. Race leads approximately. I mean, he's closing at this portion of the racetrack. 4 tenths, 3 tenths.
Closing in as they work their way. McBride takes a defensive line. cutting off the edge or cutting off the angle to Carroll, but Carroll took the corner a little easy, and that allowed Ward to get caught up to the rear bumper. Battle for position number 9. Jake Wright on the inside of Jonathan Cadell. Jake Wright, as if when everybody pits in front of him, I believe, yes, he will cycle out to the lead. The closest competitor behind him that's on that similar strategy would be Chad Coleman, who is just behind Jonathan Cadell.
Well, this is going to be a close battle, especially with Jake Wright. He's all up to the back bumper of Rich Jetty. Might be going for a pass here. He should have a better run off. Fresher tires.
Fresher tires, but that's an aggressive maneuver going through that corner. That's not a designated passing zone. But as GSRC's own Kevin Brown says, any corner is a passing corner if you're brave enough. Just like any zoo is a petting zoo if you're brave enough.
Man, did you see Jake Wright? I could have sworn he was on one wheel. I mean, 3 wheels up in the air.
Dives down to the inside, move right up another position.
Now, one more car that's up ahead. Oh, man! Oh, no! Josh Parker up ahead of Jake Wright.
That's one way to take that corner. Just go straight through it.
Oh, man, they're stacking up.
They are. Parker, our Talladega winner, holding on to it as he's dropping positions. Ward has hit pit road.
Ward's hit pit road. Carroll and I believe McBride, yeah, they stayed out.
McBride staying out. Carroll staying out. So is Ryan. Eckrich also lurking.
Now, Scott Eckrich, before on the 1 to go signal, he did stop again down on pit road, I guess to top off possibly. So who knows? Maybe he was saving some gas as well under that caution.
You know, I'm wondering something. It'd be tight. It would be very, very tight. But I'm wondering if guys like Eckrich and when he pitted again, I'm wondering if he's thinking maybe one stop from that early pit. It would be extremely close. But remember, California, when we raced there earlier this season, came down to a nail biter of fuel mileage. And with a road course, now that these guys are spaced out, I don't think stranger things have happened, but I don't see another caution. Well, here's my logic, though. 30 laps to go this time. Eckrich can go at least another 5 laps. That would put him 25 to go, so it would be close.
It would be close. Now, you got to remember, he did pit on lap. He pit twice under that caution, so he technically pitted on lap 8. That was his last pit stop. And
Tommy Ryan on pit road this time.
Yep. Tommy Ryan.
I mean, it still would be a 2-stop race no matter which way you slice it, but the strategy car, that's the fascinating part about all of this, as Rich Jetty also hits pit road.
Oh, man. Every time we think about field strategy, I'm either biting my nails or I got my head spinning.
It can certainly... I would not envy any crew chief sitting on the box trying to figure out the fuel strategy as Rhett McBride is once again under fire from Drew Carroll.
Man, oh man.
Smoking the tires into turn 7A. Coming out on the other side through the S's. Carroll up to the rear bumper. We're looking out at the front bumper of Carroll off of the rear of McBride's. Working their way through, setting up turn 10 to set up the short chute into 11. Let's see, Carroll dives it in there, but I think he's going to wash out just a little bit on corner exit. That he does. McBride is going to be able to lead one more lap.
And wasn't Rhett McBride and Drew Carroll one of those two drivers that stayed out under that caution? No, they were one of the drivers that pitted. Excuse me. Yes. Okay. I'm getting my math and all. Oh, wow. Carroll heavy loose. Coming to the start-finish line.
That he is. Nobody deciding to hit pit road this time by. Everybody's still staying there. Jake Wright up to the 5th position, 13 seconds off of the lead. And he is fast, too. I mean, he's running 1:15s. And he's got Chad Coleman pretty much matching him lap time for lap time. Each and every single lap. Those two on track are separated by about 3 seconds. Point of reference, Jake Wright is working his way down the hill, setting up for corner 4A, and Coleman is working his way through 4A right now. Nick Cohan jumped out of the way of Jake Wright. I think he saw the inevitable coming and decided to just get out of the way.
And the comparison between Jake Wright and Chad Coleman last time by at the start-finish line, Jake Wright did run a faster lap time, just by a little bit, not by much. They both have even race cars on the track. And man, oh man, it's turn 7 all over the place. You got Jonathan Cadell. You got these cars folded over a blanket here.
Cadell, what happened to Cadell there? Nope, I think he just got out of the way from Mellendorf. Took that corner really wide and let Fuller draw a run on him. Fuller, look at that rebound, up to 8th position with a damaged car.
With the damaged car. Oh, cars in the dirt back there. That was Jonathan Cadell.
Goodness, Cadell is trying to keep all 4 tires on the pavement, but the car has other ideas.
Josh Parker getting passed by 2 cars in that one corner, which is the hairpin. Don Runkle Jr., 1 lap down currently on pit road. Drew Carroll
Mellendorf went off track in turn 1. Goodness gravy.
And folks, Drew Carroll has pitted. He's out of pit road now. He just exited. 4 tires did go on Drew Carroll.
Oh yeah, there's no way that you run that run out. There's no way. And 27 laps to go. These guys will be on pit road one more time. The driver, like I said, I'm keeping an eye on potentially that one stop from now strategy would be Scott Eckrich. I mean, I think he's got to make it 2 more laps to make it effective. 3 might put 1 in the cushion.
I don't know. I'm going to have to, as this broadcast goes on, once in a while, I'll have to keep track of Scott Eckrich here just to see what his strategy plan is. Running in the 2nd position right now.
He is going to cycle up to the 2nd position. As that's Rhett McBride. Still, you know what? Maybe we're counting Rhett McBride out of that strategy. He's running out there right now. He's got a clear lead.
He's got a big
about
gap.
8 seconds over Jake Wright.
And I tell you what, he's not feeling pressured. So he could probably just say, hey, save fuel. I mean, you're not feeling pressured. I mean, why not? Save a little gas.
It might be. I mean, who knows? That little strategy call to pit at the first part of the race might just dictate who wins this one.
Man, I thought oval racing fuel strategy would be spinning my head, but road racing, wow.
Well, there was a song, something about spin my head right round, but... who sang that? I don't know. Somebody.
I know a song called Turn the Beat Around.
Showing your poor taste in musical again.
Yeah, poor musical, poor disco, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Matt Coleman is to that back bumper of Scott Eckrich.
Coleman he is all over the rear bumper of Eckrich. We're on board with Coleman, setting the way through turn 11.
Battle.
Here we go. Oh, and Eckrich hits pit road. He's pitting with 26 to go. Oh, that goodness, that might be just out of the window. So is Rhett McBride.
Oh, wow. That will hand over their lead to Jake Wright.
I don't think they're going to be able to do it. That was only 23 laps. Fuller on pit road. Cadell on pit road. The only other one that's kind of staying out in that grouping is Nick Cohan.
Tell you what, folks, you're asking a lot out of 26 laps here, and I have yet to see anybody make 26 laps. The most I've seen here was 22 laps in this race.
Well, no, I mean, if you're Cohan in that House of Jerky scheme, if you're Cohan, I mean, do you run this one, kind of split it up a little bit, pit here maybe in the next lap, and then maybe pit with 15 to go to try to take advantage of the tires? Or I mean, because I think that's kind of what we're playing up against here.
Yeah, I think tires, definitely, because you've seen earlier between when Jake Wright first pitted and compare his lap times to Rhett McBride at the time, and they were far from each other. That was just a comparison between old and new tires, so maybe that tire strategy here would be the indefinite right call.
It might be. I don't know. I mean, if you're Cohen, he got the front end damage from that earlier collision with Cadell. Up here he comes onto pit road. Hard onto the binders, working their way through the outside of turn 11 on to pit road, 45 miles an hour.
Oh boy, things are just starting to heat up strategy-wise.
Going back out front, Jake Wright back in command of this race by a healthy 5 seconds over Chad Coleman and a healthy 12 seconds over Brian Mellendorf.
And you know what? I'm going to go on a limb and just say this. I don't think guys like Scott Eckridge, I don't think he can make it to the end. I think he's going to require one more pit stop. He's going to be about 5 laps short, approximately.
I don't know. These guys have done stranger things. But I mean, here's the thing, though, is that with as far back as, let's take a look here. Eckridge is 37 seconds off of the pace. I mean, 37 seconds, that's pretty much most of the pit road delta and then a pit stop. So you might even have maybe a 5-second advantage over guys that just hit pit road. So I don't know if that would be beneficial at all.
Scott Eckridge right now is coming into turn 7. The race leader right now is coming towards the start-finish line. That's the gap between Jake Wright and Scott Eckridge.
Yeah,
That's maybe half the race. Uh-oh.
What happened? Whoa, Parker spinning around, lighting them up. A little early.
Parker.
I think he's in Talladega Victory Lane again. The way he lit those things up. Then tank slapper off of 2, spins it around, grabs the gear, punches it, and gets going back the right way.
And he got it going in the right way just in time before somebody else caught up to him. So there was no reason to throw a caution there.
Well, and his sponsor, Shred Z, is on that car, and I think he just shredded those tires.
Yeah, usually I agree.
And now he's got Wright breathing right on the rear bumper of him. Whoa, as he gets squirrely through, I believe that was 8A.
At the end of the S's.
He's still holding that advantage over Wright, but I think it's might be short-lived. He's still keeping that ahead of him. That's not bad.
And a quick update on Rich Jetty fans. Entering just before the hairpin, he slid off the racetrack and hit the outside wall, the tire barrier, extremely hard, knocking the left front out. That he may have had to knock the toe out there. Rich Jetty. Here you see Rich Jetty.
Here's Jetty. Coming through the S's.
Right here, he's going to go right off the racetrack. Hit the outside wall hard, that tire barrier back there.
There's got to be more to that. He hits pit road. Maybe he just hit pit road and decided to be done with it.
Oh, he wrecked entering pit road, too.
Oh,
he flipped over.
What happened to Krahula? He didn't have a hood. What happened to James Krahula?
A lot of activity going on here at Sonoma here, folks. James Krahula without a hood. Something.
Krahula gets loose off of turn 10, nudges it to the inside wall, and hits pit road. Now he can make it from here.
Wow.
And that car is going to have maximum cooling. Well, it's got a hood back on it now. That was a bizarre glitch.
It was either that or the hood popped off somewhere on the racetrack, and we don't call cautions for debris.
That's true. There's no David Hoots in the tower. Josh Parker on pit road. Oh, I think he's destroyed that car. Oh, yeah, that was what we were talking about. He hit. Were we talking about that? Yeah, let's find. Oh, boy.
Oh, dead gone.
That was setting up the turn 10. Gets squirrely through at 9. And just slams the tire barrier, pretty much destroying that number 81 machine.
That corner's been just treacherous all race long.
It's the trouble spot on the track because you carry so much speed through turn 10, and there's no banking to catch the car.
Well, got Eckridge here. He might be under attack from Nick Cohan. Oh, maybe not. That's another car behind him. Position 3, battle.
Position 3. Mellendorf and Ward working through turn 10. Troublesome turn 10 that time. Everybody gets through it straight.
I tell you what, man, Brian, you were saying a lot about Brian Mellendorf. Great performance at Road America. Here, Brian Mellendorf is sitting in the 3rd position, has a shot at a top 5 finish here at Sonoma. And if we do get a caution, he may be shot for a win. as of right now, he is 20 seconds behind our race leader, Jake Wright.
And I don't just like him because he shares a very good name. He actually is he's a really good driver out there, really smooth, really clean. And he's got Jeff Ward once again breathing all over the rear bumper of him. You mentioned that, Tanner. A caution would change everything here, and I think it would get chaotic at the end of this race.
Jeff Ward, hard in the corner, thought better of it.
He was just showing him he was there.
That would be scary to me.
It is bringing it wide outside, trying to get a better run through. Whoa, wow! He gets all over the curbing there, trying to get a run on Mellendorf, but Mellendorf takes a straighter run off the corner.
We do got a battle going on here for position 6. Ricky Harden and Tommy Ryan, they're almost side by side, as Ricky Harden does get a little bit of a better run than what Tommy Ryan does through the S's.
Harden holding that number 15 machine out. Mellendorf is on pit road. Harden is off the track.
Uh-oh.
Harden onto pit road now.
Wow.
So, I mean, the fuel window is open, guys. You pit anywhere inside of here, you could make it. So if you're Mellendorf and you might be, if you've got that speed, he was a fair enough distance back, and he would have to rip off some, I'm not even going to lie, some professional-esque lap times to close the gap to Wright, but I don't know. Wright doesn't seem to be in any kind of a hurry. He's just taking his time out there.
Yeah, right now it would be this is it. This would be their final pit stop. Now, got Eckrich on the other hand when it comes to pit stops.
And Eckrich kind of running his own strategy. Wright going through turn 11 one more time, staying on track.
Chad Coleman, pit road.
Chad Coleman onto pit road. He was starting to close that gap just a little bit between he and Wright. Now Coleman going to take advantage of 4 fresh field goods off of pit road and try to close that gap considerably more.
Well, as you said, if you pit now, you can make it to the end. So no more pitting, I believe, for Chad Coleman unless a caution comes out to where you want to come down and get tires.
That's where you tell the crew, you know what, go ahead and put up the air hoses, put away your guns. It's we're bringing her to the house. Tommy Ryan on pit road as well.
Ryan on pit road. Drew Carroll stays out. Jeff Ward stays out. Ryan Mellendorf, one of those drivers he has pitted.
Running on track, working his way through the carousel, not the carousel, the hairpin in turn 11. I mean, for point of reference, Wright is working his way up to turn 10. And Mellendorf is at the line now, or just beyond the line, heading up towards turn 1. I mean, that's a lot of track to try to make up.
Yeah, that is.
And here comes Wright to pit road.
Race leader to pit road.
Oh, hard onto the binders. Better not get caught speeding. You get a speeding penalty here. Your race is done.
There's no way in cutting it.
No, and let's see here. Ward still, the one I'd be looking at. Here comes Ward around. Ward is going to he's going to inherit the lead here. He's a little squirrely off of the corner. Now he's into the lead. Let's see where Wright is. The right side tires are on Jake Wright's machine. God, that's a lot of Wrights in the same sentence. Left sides are up, and he's going to be full of fuel and down and away. Let's see where he comes out in relation to Mellendorf. I mean, Mellendorf is working his way through the hairpin right now. So, I mean, unless someone has an extra fuel tank on their car, I think this one might go to Wright.
It might. I mean, he's had a big enough gap for quite a while now. So, I mean, he's not being pressured. He probably saved a little gas, too.
Could. I mean, but here's the thing. With 17 laps to go, he's well within a fuel window. Just full out attacking Jake Wright.
Speaking of Jake Wright, I mean, he's right now catching up drastically up to Scott Eckrich. Now, remember, folks, Scott Eckrich has to make it 25 laps.
I don't see that happening.
I don't see it happening. And right now, Scott Eckrich is that battle for
especially when the guy that you know can make it is right on your rear bumper.
Yeah.
Oh, Wright gets a great run through turn 10.
He's coming
Eckrich
in.
running wide, down into the hairpin, killing some orange cones.
Yeah, I was going to say, he ain't heading in, but he's collecting cones.
And that's going to move Jake Wright up to the 3rd position now.
Yeah, I hate the... Man, yeah, Scott Eckrich is just... he may have to pit fairly soon. But who knows? Maybe he'll have a tire advantage, too.
Possibly. Brett McBride also hit pit road a second ago. Who's Carroll talking to right there?
Not talking to Josh Parker, I believe.
I think so. Oh, wow. Got hot and heavy into that corner. That's going to let Josh King go by. A little bit of everything going on around the track here at Sonoma. Right now, Jeff Ward is your leader, but Jeff Ward is going to give that up and head down to pit road. That's, I mean, it's going to hand the lead over to Drew Carroll.
Now, when did Drew Carroll last make a pit stop?
About 12 laps ago.
Yeah, he last pitted on lap 28, I assume?
That's what I'm going to guess, yeah.
Yep, lap 28 was his last pit stop. So, and that's further than Scott Eckrich.
I still don't think he's going to be able to make it there. I mean, that would be impressive. Don't get me wrong, it would be impressive, but I don't see it happening.
Well, green battle.
Oh, whoa! I just tuned into that as Eckrich was all over the track. He's got Coleman breathing down his rear bumper. Coleman to the inside, working their way up there. Coleman going to have the clear advantage and take the 3rd position away from Scott Eckrich.
Yeah, Scott Eckrich, sounds like he is screaming for tires right now.
And oh, man, I'm gutted for Scott because he has to be sitting there wondering what if.
Yeah, those what ifs are pretty big, though.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that burned him a little bit was having to wait to let that other car by, and even that, he still lost track time there, so.
Whoa, heavy on the loud pedal. Scott Eckrich just a little bit. Now, when you get heavy on that brake pedal there and the tire starts, smoking, you're wearing them tires out. But I think Scott Eckrich, he's begging on trying to go to the end here.
Trying, but it's a valiant effort.
Well, get this. He's on lap 42. He's got a little over 10 laps. I don't see it happening.
Nope.
I hate to be the bad guy to Scott Eckrich, but
I'm not going to threaten any poultry this time, but I don't see it, man. I don't see it happening.
Dad Coleman has gained a little bit on Jake Wright, about 2 seconds now.
But that gap is about 4 seconds.
4 seconds.
From a lap time standpoint, Wright was a little faster last time, but remember, Coleman was dealing with Eckrich working their way around the track. So sometimes in these road courses, you get stuck behind somebody. So what Coleman is going to need is he's going to need Wright to get to Carroll before Carroll gets to pit road. And he needs Carroll to fight Wright, and then that way that gap will just continue to close.
Yeah, and his gap right now between Drew Carroll, that's about a good, a 4-second interval between first and second. And closing. Drastically, too. He gained a half a second right there. Jake Wright did.
Let's take this opportunity to give you an AdvoCare top 10 rundown through the field. If you're looking to add some spark to your life, AdvoCare gives you a full line of options from wellness to weight loss to those looking for a little more performance of their active lifestyle. Please contact independent distributor James Grahula at james.grahula@gmail.com or at the link in the description of the video below. We've been talking about it. Mr. Excitement, Drew Carroll, leading the race right now, but for how much longer, that's going to be the case. Eventual leader, once Carroll pits, that's going to be Jake Wright. He's had a stranglehold on this lead since the early caution and the early pit stop. But Chasing him down, hit every single lap, has been Chad Coleman in that number 45 machine, running third right now. Probably will cycle back up to second. Scott Eckridge, he's kind of the wild card here, running fourth, but we feel like he's going to have to hit pit road one more time. So it'll be key to see how he's going to be able to get back up into there. Justin Fuller, look at that car. It's not the prettiest one to look at, but I'll tell you what, he's been able to rebound nicely after that early incident. He is running fifth, and I believe he might have enough fuel to get to the very end. It'll be very close for him, but we'll have to see. Mellendorf in that number 41 machine in sixth position, and Jeff Ward back up to seventh, just trying to get that one to the end. He's been sideways and up and down and beating and banging and hitting everything but the pace car tonight, holding on to the seventh position. Ricky Harden in eighth, your Martinsville winner earlier this year, and he's got Tommy Ryan, the winner at Bristol, all over the rear bumper of him as well. Rounding out your AdvoCare top 10, fittingly, is the driver of the AdvoCare machine, James Krahula. I didn't plan it that way, folks. It just happened.
Just an update on Justin Fuller. Uh-oh.
We got a battle for the lead going on here. Wright has caught Carroll. And they're both caught behind the lap car of King. Oh,
Carroll's in.
And here goes Carroll to pit road. And Josh King just gets way out of the way. Now I'll be curious to see where Carroll cycles out to.
The driver, man, I think he has stayed out the longest so far. That is Scott Eckridge.
And he has got 15 laps now on those set of tires.
Yeah, he's got about 5 more laps, believe it or not, approximately, because he pitted on lap 30. He was in his pit box on 31, I believe. Yep, 31. And so that's almost approximately 15 laps. And the fuel window's 17 to 21, so he's getting close.
Drew Carroll is away off of pit road. He's going to cycle out to the 10th position right now. But he has got the next 3 drivers for positions right in front of him, and he has fresh tires. So expect Carroll to climb the scoring ticker before the end of this one.
Drew Carroll started in the 12th position tonight. He did make up some ground earlier in the race, and so far he has continued to make up some of that ground, including leading quite a few laps. So far, putting on a great showing.
Just holding the high, Hansen and Wheeler. Oh, that sentence did not make any sense.
Whoa, boy.
Let's just jump back to the field. Drew Carroll all over the rear bumper of James Krahula. That's going to be a battle for the 9th position. Krahula has it. Carroll wants it. Why do everybody that has similar sounding names finding each other tonight? Have you noticed that?
I have, and usually I'm the guy that usually accidentally messes up the names a little bit. But
here we see Carroll down to the inside through the hairpin. He's got the preferred line, and he's going to have the position underneath Krahula, coming off of turn 11 down the front stretch. Drew Carroll up to the 9th position.
Wow, I can't believe he fell that far back too.
But
35.
he's got everybody for position is pretty much right in front of him.
Yeah, I mean, he's 35 seconds back from the race leaders.
Don Ruckel's going to get in the way here just a little bit. Oh, no, Don gets way out of the way. Whoa! That looked like Carroll was going to try to make a move onto the inside of Harden there.
And did Harden catch, or was that Krahula? That was Krahula. He caught Don Runkle at the wrong time.
Carroll lining up to the rear bumper of Harden. Gets really aggressive right there. And now as they work their way through the S's.
Uh-oh. Scott Eckridge to pit road.
Yeah, we didn't think he was going to be able to make it. Let's see where he cycles out into this battle.
That's going to put Mellendorf up to 3rd. Justin Fuller providing if he pits.
Drew Carroll making the run, trying to get to the inside of Harden. Harden had to block heavy into turn 11 on the outside of turn 11. Carroll realizing that line is not going to work, falls back into line behind Harden, trying to make another move on that number 15 machine going into turns 1 and 2.
Getting it.
He's there to the outside of Harden. He's got him cleared.
Man.
Got it. This is all happening behind Jake Wright, though. He got a 6-second lead over Chad Coleman.
Yeah, it's Drew Carroll and Ricky Harden, the closest battle on the racetrack as far as time-wise.
Jeff Ward got around Justin Fuller there for the 4th position as well.
Now, if a caution does come out, folks, the lucky dog would be given to Josh King. That's just providing if the caution comes out. But Jonathan Cadell is close to be a lap down. Oh, and I stand corrected, folks. There will, according to the league officials here in this series, there will not be any kind of caution whatsoever in the final 10 laps of the race. So, with that being said, it's all strategy from here on out.
It's going to boil down to speed and horsepower and a little bit of strategy too. Jake Wright going through turn 10 one more time, coming to 7 to go. I'm not going to say he's got it in the bag. That's bit me before in the past, so like we said earlier, it ain't over until it's over, folks. But right now, Wright has a commanding 6-second lead over Chad Coleman.
Yeah, Jake Wright started 4th today. He is currently leading, and I believe he will clinch the most laps led in today's race. Chad Coleman started 2nd, currently in 2nd. Brian Mellendorf started 7th, currently in 3rd. Jeff Ward started 5th, currently in 4th. He's been in the top 5 all race long. Justin Fuller, after a recovery wreck, he's up in the 5th position. What a recovery by Justin Fuller.
Making it work. I'm just curious if the fuel is going to hold out on that 51 machine.
Oh, yeah, I almost forgot about that. He has yet to pit. Last time he pitted was lap 31.
19 laps ago. I don't think he's going to make it, but you know, he hasn't run all the races. First Cup race of the year, so got nothing to lose. I mean, give it a shot. If it runs out, it runs out.
Got a little bit of a gap from the position car, and that is Drew Carroll. Drew Carroll entering turn 6 right now, as Justin Fuller is in turn 7.
Wright has extended his lead another second over Chad Coleman. Now that gap is to 7 seconds. Oh, Don Runkle Jr.
Oh, no.
Big moment coming off a 2. That car is smoking.
Heavy damage. Heavy.
And that black smoke off the end, that's a meatball flag if I've ever seen one.
Tell you what, that's an uphill, too.
Yeah, he caught the curbing really hard.
Very hard, and that's a hard to maneuver the car when you catch that curbing. Man, he hit that wall a ton. Very
That'll
unfortunate.
end the race for Don Runkle Jr.
Yeah, I had to take a tow to the pits. Wasn't going to be able to make it back all the way around. Jake Wright has opened up that gap, though, I'm telling you.
7.3, 7.2, now 7.5 over Chad Coleman.
It was a 6.4. I mean, he's gained a little over a second on Chad Coleman.
He's making it work. Also, make someone else making it work. Drew Carroll. He is closing in on the rear bumper of Justin Fuller. I think he's going to get there, and that's going to put Carroll up to the top 5. Not a bad 3-race stretch for him. Win-win and potentially a 5th.
Tell you what, he's been on fire the last about 2 weeks. Actually, he's been fire all season long, but especially the last 2 weeks, though. Or two events.
Something worth watching. Ward is closing up to the rear bumper of Mellendorf. Big time. Whoa, Ward drives the ever-loving crap out of it going through the hairpin.
Well, yeah, and Ward's been having a fantastic race all race long, too.
He's starting to close that gap, like I said, up to Mellendorf. Kind of keeping a little eye on that one. And that lead here, that gap is slowly shrunk
Whoa!
now. Whoa, I think Ward is there now.
He's going to let him go by. He let him go by there.
That was almost a here you go, oh God, oh no.
Yeah, hey, he was catching him drastically.
Move Jeff Ward, last night's winner at Gateway, and the closest finish in PRL's history. Unfortunately, I was second on that one, so kind of a sore subject for me.
Tell you what, the series in the league, they've been doing a lot of shifting the last couple days. Gateway and Sonoma.
Yep. And, where these guys are going next week, there will be no such thing as shifting, because next week we're heading up to Daytona.
Well, you could try it, but I don't know if it's going to work out. Well, unless you could convince everybody, hey, let's run the Daytona road course.
That might be interesting. I don't know how these cars
P6
handle that.
battle.
It's going to be not much of a battle. I think Fuller's trying to stretch it to the end here. He's going to have Ryan all over the rear bumper. Those poor orange cones at the entrance to pit road just getting them beaten tonight.
And they need to make an orange cone Twitter. Or yellow cone Twitter.
At least you realized it. At least I wasn't going to say anything.
Well, I don't tweet all that stuff much, but yeah.
I don't understand this kid's technology. But you buy your charging cables on eBay, and you don't understand Twitter. I don't care. I don't care.
Last charging cable I ever got was from home.
All right, let's find us something here, Director. We got a battle here for 8th between Harden and Krahula. Teammates.
Tell you what, Krahula's got that damage all over that front end nose, man. It's not really affecting him all that much.
He's still wheeling it. Like nothing's hurting him at all.
Got Eckridge after his pit stop earlier. He's as furthest back as 48. Actually, at the time of the line, it's increased since. Got Eckridge. 10th position. Well, 5 seconds off ahead of James Krahula.
Right here, This is your closest battle on screen between Harden and Krahula.
Tell you what, they were smoking. Well, I mean, he's going to get, if he can stretch it out, he's going to get a top 10 finish out of it.
He's going to try.
And Justin Fuller is the only car on the track that has yet to pit for the fuel mark, and he is surpassed. I think he surpasses the fuel window.
I still don't know if that 51 machine's going to make it.
Hitting cones.
2 laps to go. Whole lot of smoke going on there. Who was that locking him up? Was that right or not right? Was that Fuller?
Yeah, that was Fuller. He did lock him up, and that had allowed Harden to catch Fuller. Harden did get loose, exiting the hairpin.
Fuller giving way. That's going to drop him 2 positions. He's got 4 seconds back to Eckridge, and that would be the top. That would be the 10th position. Move Harden and Krahula now up to 7th and 8th, respectively. Here comes Krahula to the inside. He's not going to quite have enough gusto. All over the curve. Fuller getting way off of it. Whoa!
Oh man, that would have been the second time.
But all that is happening behind Jake Wright, who has taken the white flag and is coming around Sonoma for one final pass. I'm going to keep an eye up here. He's going to have to deal with the car.
Flipping and sliding everywhere. Nick Cohen, Rip McBride, a little bit, exiting 7.
He's keeping an eye on Wright here, just making sure he doesn't put a tire off. I don't see him doing that. He's taking this very conservatively. He's with a 9-second lead. You can kind of gamble, or you can kind of take it easy that way. But Wright started the season off strong in Daytona by winning the pole for the Daytona 300. Then a whole lot of bad luck happened and found his way out of victory lane. Finally broke the trend at Richmond and then gets it again at Road America. If he can get through turns 10 and 11, he will become the 3-time winner on the season. He's working his way towards turn 11 this time. rolling into it nice and easy. Easy like Sunday morning, if you will. To quote another song, he's coming off a turn 11. Jake Wright is going to win the Big Sky Bat Dogs 175K at Sonoma for his third win of the year.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, we got a huge battle coming to the finish here. Almost contact. Slide job between Ricky Harden and James Gorilla Harden. Oh, no.
Oh, boy, that's going to move Krahula up to 7.
We do got a battle, though. Another battle, too, that might be shaping up here before the finish. That is Nick Cohan and Rhett McBride as well.
Cohan has it. McBride wants it. Turn 10. Gonna be the setup lane. Rhett McBride drives it into turn 10, but he fades off of the corner.
Ain't gonna get in. That's a little too far back to get to Nick Cohan.
Ooh, but Cohan overshot turn 10 or turn 11.
Downward,
Now it's
side
gonna be
by
side by
side.
side. Drag race off of turn 11. This is an exciting battle for 10. Rhett McBride has it. Cohan to the inside. And give it to Cohan.
What a finish.
That was fantastic.
And that was...
Oh, and Fuller. He needed a
Fuller.
splash of fuel to make it. Just
ever
a
so
splash. He's coming across. I believe he is going to finish
12th, it looks like, maybe. No, further back.
9?
12th. 12th. It was 12th.
All right, so with that being said, we're going to let Jake Wright make some donuts on the front stretch, and we're going to take a quick break and come back on the other side with a full field rundown, and we'll be back on the other side with driver interviews, full field rundown, and send this one to the home. So stay tuned. We'll be back. back to the Sonoma Raceway, where we've just watched a thrilling road race on its storied facility. So let's get up and show you the full field rundown here. Jake Wright, third win on the season. And on the second step to the podium, Chad Coleman, Jeff Ward, third. We'll talk to all those guys post-race. Fourth to Brian Mellendorf. Fifth, Drew Carroll. Sixth, matching the car number, Tommy Ryan. Seventh to James Krahula. Eighth to Ricky Harden. Ninth to Eckrich, a great rebound for him. And 10th to Nick Cohan.
And outside the top 10, you have the number 2 of Rhett McBride, who led earlier on under green flag pit stops. He'll finish 11th tonight. Justin Fuller, coulda, woulda, shoulda, made a recovery today, but he was a splash of fuel short to making it to the very end. He'll finish in 12th after starting third. Jonathan Cadell in 13th. Now these drivers I'm about to name off are a lap down or more, and that is Josh King finishing 14th, Matt Lacrosse in the 15th position, Rick Thompson in 16th, Don Runkle Jr. in 17th, 18th is Josh Parker, 19th place is Rich Jetty, rounding out the top 20 is Woodrow Mahan, and in 21st position is Calvin Pilarski.
So let's talk to some of the combatants, and I have caught up with our third place finisher, Jeff Ward. Third tonight, a win last night. Not a bad week for you here in PRL. Tell us about your race today, Jeff.
Yeah, Brian, that was a pretty good night for us. We come out there, I was really just looking for a top 5 tonight. I'm not a road course ringer by no means, but some things fell our way, and then if we wouldn't have got a kind of turn there in a hairpin, I think we would have been maybe fighting for first or second. But Jake was awful fast. Congrats to him, and Chad had a good car also. So, yeah, I'm tickled to death with third tonight. That was a good run for us.
A good run for you on the road course. I mean, it was hot and slick out there. How was trying to handle that one from the driver's seat?
Well, as the track, it seemed like it rubbered in a little bit. My car got pretty good there, the last 20 laps of the race. It was actually a lot better than we were in the beginning, but it was pretty good on new tires. Once they start wearing off, the thing would become a handful. But yeah, they changed the race to the evening. I think that made a big difference. If we was in the afternoon settings, we probably would have been out to lunch, 10th place or something. So it kind of played in our favor there.
And now another impressive stat with how the season has gone. You haven't made all the starts in the season. You got 9 starts before tonight under your belt, but of those 9 starts, you have 5 top 5s, 6 top 10s. You're on the outside looking in on the points. Great points night in third place. How do you think the rest of the season leading up to the chase is going to go for you?
Well, I like to stay optimistic that we'll get a win. Of course, this series is full of fast guys, so we can keep knocking on the door, getting top 5s, and maybe we'll come to a track where I'm good enough to get a win. But so far it hasn't happened. We've had some close calls. Of course, Scott's won a handful of these things, and then you got Jake and Drew, so it's tough. We're a 4th place car every week, it seems like, so hopefully we'll get a win sooner or later.
Well, all we need to do is just run Gateway in the Cup Series, right?
Yeah.
All right, so that was Jeff Ward rounding out our podium tonight. Thanks for stopping in and talking to us, Jeff, and we'll see you next week at Daytona.
Thanks, Brian. See you.
Have a good one. So now, let's see here. Move that over here. We are now going to talk to Chad Coleman. Tanner, I believe you have caught up with Chad.
I have caught up with Chad Coleman, and Chad, tonight you had such a great race going. I mean, you qualified in the 2nd position, and you finished in the 2nd position. It's not a win, but you cannot take away your performance on the track. Take us through your day.
Yeah, the race started off really good. We had a good lap in qualifying. The cooler weather and stuff, the late afternoon stuff, it really helped. Been practicing, some this week, and with hotter conditions and clear and everything, and it was a lot slicker than what it was. So we put a good lap down in qualifying, and then we had a caution on a road course, and I think it'd been since back in the 2K3 days since I've had to do a restart in a road course race. So that was interesting, and but yeah, other than that, man, the 27 car, dude, he wore us out right there on the long run. But overall, it was a good race. Wore out and sweaty and smell right now, but it was fun.
Yeah, sometimes when you get warm, you start to sweat, especially in races like this. Talk about the race car. I'm telling you, it sounds like you guys are really wheeling and dealing these cars off the exit of the corners. Tell us how hard these cars are really. Are these cars really hard to handle on the exit of the corners, especially the tougher corners like the hairpin and turn 7?
Yeah, the car when you get in, it wanted, well, to me anyway. It felt like the car was a little tight on turn in, and then off the corner after a couple laps, the rear tires are gone, and so it made it interesting. I struggled a lot with turn 10 that race, and with 7, struggled a little bit in it, and it was, other than that, it was a good race. We just struggled and got destroyed by the 27 car.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, you can't take away anything from you. At one time, you guys were running even lap times, and 27 ended up pulling out from you. Do you think maybe if you had a chance to change up the strategy a little bit, would you try to gain anything on that 27, or would you settle for a second place?
I think the only thing we could have done different is stay out under that caution, and make him try to pass us. And instead, we pretty much turned it over to him right there, thinking that the fall off was going to be more than it was. Like, the cars didn't fall off as much as we thought they were, and tires, weren't that big of a deal when he was out there on, I think, 5 or 6 lap tires compared to what we had, and the fall off just wasn't there, and he got away from us there, and then he just continued to gap us a little bit, especially as the run went longer at the end of the race right there. We tried to short pit him right there a little bit and tried to gain a little bit, and we did. We made up a second or two, but he stretched it out on us right there at the end.
Yeah, definitely. That's pretty much what we saw too. Guys getting hard on the brake and just pretty much a tire advantage. Well, you finished second here at Sonoma on June 28th, which is our next event for the series, the Steel Horse Racing TV Firecracker 200 at Daytona. Now everybody's got a chance to win Daytona, but how do you like your chances at Daytona?
I like plate races. I enjoy it. I'm not sure how much the draft models changed for this build. Hopefully it got a little better, but I enjoy it. It should be fun.
All right, well, congratulations on your second place finish here tonight, and we will see you at Daytona, Chad.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Well, Brian, that was Chad Coleman finishing second tonight, and I believe you've caught up in victory lane drinking wine with Jake Wright.
That is our now 3-time winner on the season, Jake Wright, bringing home the victory in dominating fashion, leading well over 30 laps in tonight's event. Jake, tell us how it was from the driver's seat.
Well, like always, Sonoma is an extremely tough track. So from the start of the race, we started fourth. I just decided I wanted to race clean, and then the caution came out at lap 6, which that was extremely scary because it happened right in front of me. But we decided to stay out because we weren't in the fuel window yet, and I didn't see the point of taking tires, and it ultimately worked out for us.
That it did. You've now you're kind of known throughout the circles here as a road course guy. You won at Road America. You've now got the win at Sonoma. We go to 2 more road courses on the season. How do you feel about maybe sweeping all 4 of them?
I feel like I have a shot, but I'm not sure what's next. I think it might be Coda, and I've never driven a Cup car there, but I'm excited. I love these road courses, so whatever you throw at me, I'll be happy to run.
Sounds good. So now you are well cemented into the chase with your 3rd win, and really just trying to set up the second part of the season, running up to the chase. How do you feel about that run up to the chase? Any tracks kind of stand out at you as a wheelhouse track, like something you really got marked on your calendar, or are you just taking it kind of a week-by-week basis?
I've been going week by week, but the road courses have definitely been the ones I enjoy the most and feel I have a better shot at doing well at. So whenever we hit our next road course is going to be fun.
Sounds good. And you're right. That's going to be coming up in 2 race time at Coda. So that'll be exciting. I can't wait to see these Cup cars going down that front stretch and up the hill to turn 1. It's going to be exciting for sure. But we got to get to Daytona now. Daytona has some happy memories for you as you started off the season. Excuse me. Started off the season with a pole in the Daytona 300 and led a good amount of the race. So how do you feel about the return visit, going back under the lights at Daytona?
I think it's gonna be fun, but Daytona is a crapshoot like always. So I could start last and win it, or I could start first and finish dead last. So anything can happen, but the super speedways are always fun for that reason. So I'm excited.
All righty, sounds good. Hey, we're gonna let you go on and spray some sparkling apple cider because I don't think you can have the champagne. So we'll let you celebrate down there. Your 3rd win on the season. Congratulations once again, and we'll see you down the road in Daytona.
Thank you. All
right, that was Jake Wright, our winner. So Tanner, we've seen another road course. We're 2 road courses in. We're going to Circuit of the Americas here coming up in a couple weeks' time. I mean, what do we think here? I mean, we saw another good beating and banging race. These drivers were driving their guts out for it. I mean, how is it from your chair?
Well, Brian, I have had the opportunity in a league to drive Circuit of the Americas in a Cup car and tested in the Cup car, and certainly drove it in a B car before. It's a whole different animal compared to Watkins Glen and Sonoma. So it's going to be an entirely different road course. It's going to be bigger. I believe that road course is 3 miles long, Circuit of the Americas, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to be that track's flat out built for the Formula One track, but bring in a 3,400-pound stock car there's going to be a lot of handling going on.
That is for sure. So we're going to wrap this show up and send us on down the road. So we're going to take the opportunity to thank our league sponsors. AdvoCare is our presenting sponsor on the league. Savage Spinners for the Pole Award and Coastal Safety Auditors for the Lucky Dog Award. We did not see Brutus tonight, but I'll bet you we'll see him next week down in Daytona. We'd also like to give thanks to the software and the hardware that we use for our broadcast that you can see listed on your screen right now. Thank you to the team today, Tanner, Amjad, and Dougie. If you'd like to find out more about Global Sim Racing Channel, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com, along with archived races and upcoming broadcasts. We are also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at facebook.com/Global Sim Racing Channel. A special thank you to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde, who both provide music for our broadcasts. Their music can be found at the locations listed on the screen as well. As we talked about, next race, June 28th, the Steel Horse Racing TV Firecracker 200 at Daytona. We also have other upcoming races for other series on screen, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. Until next time, race clean, race hard, and I'll see you on the track.